All right. Are we live?
Okay, we are now live. We decided to be fashionably late. So, yes, it's June 25th, um, obviously, and hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yes, I can hear you fine.
All right, super. And I can see you and you can see me. Um, yeah, so just thought we would do this live stream. This is something we had been discussing about for a while, whether or not to do this.
Mm.
But we thought it would be good just to see out the day with somewhat of a positive note. I know this can be a bit of a people can run the gamut of emotions on this day, and so we're kind of set this up to kind of remember the more positive aspects of Michael Jackson's life and
Mhm.
his music and his work and and all that good stuff, etc. Um, So,
Hey,
I
Ellie.
suppose just from the oh yes, just going to
Yeah, I'm
go
on
into the
Twitter, by the
chat
way, as
here.
well.
Oh, excellent. Hello to everyone. Hello, everybody on Twitter.
Hello. And
I'm
also
just going to
Nelly
check.
says hi. Nelly is sitting in front of me sniffing some catnip. Hi, Noel Depp.
Very good.
Yeah, I'll switch over to
Very
Nelly in a
good.
minute. So Twitter wants to see Nelly, right? There we
Oh
go.
yeah, yeah. The internet loves cats.
The internet loves cats. Nelly. Oh no,
Yeah.
she goes shy. Nell. Anyway, everybody, how's your June 25th been? Hi, Sandy.
Yeah. So I just switched on just keeping an eye on the chat on sorry, not Facebook, on YouTube
YouTube.
as well. See if anyone wants to join in. Feel free to join in the chat. Um,
Hey, everybody.
so yeah, so I guess just to get the ball rolling, as a kind of a in the interest of an introduction, suppose we're best start off just to talk about how we came to be fans of Michael.
I thought you were going to say
um,
something else. It's like, did you not have
oh
that
really?
conversation at school?
Oh my, haha! How
Um,
we came to
how did
be.
we came to be? Like, in the beginning. Oh,
Oh
dear.
my goodness.
Um,
So if you,
yeah.
I'll open up the floor to you first.
Me?
Yeah.
Um, okay, so I live in Belfast in Northern Ireland. I became a fan of Michael. I must have been like a teenager. Well, when I really started becoming a big fan. But prior to that, I was always listening to his music. My first CD, or sorry, cassettes that I ever bought was the History cassette back in 1994, 95. I was 9 years old. Prior to that, my first ever memory of actually wanting to listen to an album was Michael's Dangerous album. And those two, to this day, are like two of my favorite albums.
Yeah, I'm wrapping the dangerous shirt here as well.
Okay, I've got my MJ the O2 shirt actually for the first concerts. I kind of don't really like list to wear that all the time, but you know.
Oh, let's have a look.
Oh, no. Yep.
Oh,
Night number one, which actually wasn't my T-shirt originally. I just bought it on I was buying something else on eBay a number of years ago, and I was meant to go to the first night, the opening night, but yeah, I didn't actually buy a T-shirt for that night. But I decided it's like, okay, right, I'm buying this. Like, I can't even remember what it was I was buying, but it was like, okay, yeah, I might as well buy that. So I get the T-shirt with it as well. So it's a little bit big. It's like
okay,
an yeah. Hmm.
so the ticket you had was for the the very first of the planned O2 shows.
Yeah. Well, the ones I bought was for actually originally for the third night. And then after, and Michael, remember a few months into rehearsal, started cancelling, and fans started getting worried, going, right, is he actually going to do these shows? I then decided to buy a second ticket for the opening night just in case, because I thought, well, maybe if he just does one show, at least I can say that I've seen him. So I went
Yeah.
on to a fan forum back in the day, the old forums, and saw a girl who was had a spare one. She was selling it, and I was like, "Yep, yes, please." And yeah, I bought that
Wow, that was
off
very
for
lucky to
fun.
get. Well, at the time.
Yeah, yeah, no, I was very, very lucky, and like they were a couple that kind of I stayed in touch with them for a number of years. Still in touch with one of them actually now. But yeah, they were that was great. Like they were genuine fans and stuff, and they gave me that ticket. They just, wanted kind of, I suppose, face value, just to give other people a chance to go see
Wow,
Michael at the opening night, yeah. So, what about
that's really
yourself?
cool. Yeah. Well, I suppose I'm better preface this that I am not as big of a fan as you would be, but I still consider myself a knowledgeable enough fan, and I do appreciate his music still to this day. So yeah, I think like the first album I ever got, or first cassettes I ever got was Dangerous. I
Hmm.
remember bugging my mom to buy it like she was going to of course I come from like small town Donegal, so there were no music shops, but like every year the hospital used to have like a garden fete, as FETE, which for those unaware, it's just kind of like a fair almost, where you would have people would like have stalls and they'd be selling shit. And there was like usually always a music one there with like cassettes and whatnot. And I just remember bugging my mom like, "Oh, if Dangerous is there, if Michael Jackson is there, please get it for me." I like really, really wanted it because I think like the first music video of his that I remember seeing, or that at least stuck out in my mind, was
Mm.
for "Leave Me Alone," which of course
Oh yeah.
was off the Bad album, but it must have been, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that must have been like maybe
One of the later
one
videos.
of the last, or not the last. Okay, cool, off the Bad album, and I just remember seeing it, and it just looked so unusual, just the visual style, and I remember when I saw like the cover for Dangerous, I felt, oh, that was almost like a continuation
It
of those
was
kind of
actually,
themes
yeah. I never
in
thought
a
of that.
way. So I don't know if that was like foresight on his part, or maybe he just thought, you know what,
Yeah,
maybe it was
maybe.
just a coincidence. But
Maybe.
so yeah, and a few years later, I think it was '95. It was like on my 11th birthday. My parents got me the History album on cassettes, the double cassettes, and it was like this is like the first edition of it, which I
Oh,
still have, and I need to I'll pull them out because it was funny. Like we're on a WhatsApp chat, the MJ Escape one, but we were actually talking about this the other day, just how the original editions differs from what's out there now, even on Spotify. Of
ooh.
course, like a lot of people are familiar with "They Don't Care About Us" and certain words were censored, but
Yeah.
like even stuff like on History, the song History, the intro in the original was different.
Hmm.
It was kind of like I think it was like a classical piece of music called "The Great Gates of Kiev." But
Oh.
what's on there now is almost like a rip
Was
off, kind of like budget version of that, and every time I hear it, it drives me up the wall because I'm like, no, I'm a real stickler for like censorship or like changing things. I like to hear the original version, and like
yeah,
even trying to
absolutely.
dig that version out on up on YouTube is really difficult to find.
Yeah.
Um,
You shouldn't censor art. That's the fact,
no,
you know. Even if it
yeah,
is offensive.
absolutely,
Um, yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Um,
I agree. Like you only have to look at my Twitter profile. It's it says you are the only censor. If you
mhm.
don't like what I say, you can turn me off. You have a choice.
Yeah.
So it kind of like those two would still be like, well, I say probably History would be my favorite of
Yeah.
like my absolute favorite album, especially the second disc. It's just so raw, it's so angry. It's just he could be coming off a rough couple of
Well,
years,
yeah, I
and
mean, like
to put it
the,
lightly.
the first kind of disc or cassette on History, it's just basically a greatest hits album. So I suppose a lot of fans probably
Yeah,
wouldn't even
yeah.
consider it
That's a
part
good
of.
introduction.
Yeah, but I mean, it's very well done because obviously this is my past, this is and now is my present and future. But I think like a lot of fans almost. I mean, I don't think I've ever listened really to disc one of the history cassette, CD, or the DVD for that matter.
No.
There's a part one, part two to the DVDs because it's all stuff that we already had. But it was good for first time fans, I think.
Yeah.
Hi, Derek, W1. Who else have we got? We've got two.
Yeah, so he could have like he would have been. I think it would have been just as successful if he just released like the second disc as an album itself. Like I don't know if like this was like some weird contractual fulfillment to that maybe he had to put out a best
Um,
of, and maybe he wanted to put in new material along with that. Maybe he felt it wouldn't have like added value for existing fans. Like I don't really know why they went that route.
I'm
That's
not
just my
sure
theory.
either. Maybe somebody in the comments could perhaps say. Should it be in the comments on YouTube?
It's surprisingly quiet. There's like maybe one person at the moment, but
Yeah,
I
same here.
guess the timing isn't working out well. So that's fair enough. That's grand. Like it's the people mark this date in their own particular way, and this will be available
Absolutely.
for viewing afterwards. So it's not
Absolutely.
this is how we're dealing with it. This is how we're discussing it. I'm sure people have their own traditions and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, no, it just seems like who's out there maybe could answer about your question about the live or why there was a greatest hits part of history. I always just assumed because it was like this is my past and my present and my future kind of making a statement. His story.
Yeah,
But
absolutely, absolutely.
so yeah. Um so moving on, yeah, I how have you spent your June 25th?
Um, well, went I kind of had Spotify on and I was listening to some bits of Bad and History and Dangerous. Unfortunately, there was kind of like those billboards going around. I know they had one around London
In
and they
Dublin,
had
yeah.
one around Dublin that I didn't get a chance to see, unfortunately. But it was great that they had that. I saw it was kind of like I'll just they had a photo I think was that was
Still.
taken by Harrison Funk.
Yeah. I know they seem to be
Um,
driving them around the billboard around London, but they didn't seem to be doing it. They had it in Dublin, but they you were saying it was stationary?
it appeared to be because like I asked, was there a set route? But you know what, Dublin's notoriously bad for trying to get around. So I
Yeah.
think they just kind of parked in the middle of O'Connell Street, which is
People in
grand.
LA or London think the traffic's bad as nothing on Dublin.
Oh, Dublin's an absolute nightmare, but sure,
Mm.
that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, people on Twitter, can you hear Kevin talking? Can anybody let me know?
Hopefully, if they
Oh,
can't, tell them to go on to YouTube.
yeah, if you can't go onto YouTube, click the link. Can't speak.
Pink,
Okay, there's a heart, so I take it you can hear. So if you can't
click the link.
go to yes, click the link pinned on my top of my Twitter profile. Thanks, Chelsea.
Yes.
So yeah,
And
yeah.
there was a. Sorry, go ahead. Yep.
Oh, you're going ahead. You're going ahead.
Oh no. How did you spend your how does you spend your 25th?
All right. Yeah, no, it's the first time I'm listening to albums. I actually had a bit of like a marathon. I actually listened to all the seven albums, or attempted to.
Wow.
Start to finish. Yeah, like because I haven't done that in ages. That's the thing. Like I think, um, with today's technology, people have Apple Music, and you have this shuffle function and playlists, and people don't tend to just sit down and just hit play from the start of a CD or a record or an album. You don't listen to the
Yeah.
album in the formation and the order it was meant to be listened to. Because I mean, many albums kind of tell like a story, especially like not least the history album.
Yes.
And I do remember it kind of brought me back to my childhood whenever I used to just be going everywhere with my Walkman, and it was just always I actually used to carry around like this little case of all these like CDs, and most of them are of course from my every one of Michael's albums were in there. Used to of course I used to listen to all the other stuff, but it was like a lot of Michael. And oh Nelly, what are you doing? Okay, my cat's just about to climb up the wall here. Stay. Um but yeah, so it's just nice to actually just like start from start to finish, listen to an album from beginning to ends. And it's just nothing I haven't done it in many years. And yeah, it was just quite the treat, you know, as we just don't do that often enough. And it's funny, Kevin and I were speaking the other day, been speaking a lot recently actually about getting a vinyl player and just actually putting to use all the vinyls we have. Hi Phone Christ. Um Yeah, so we're like thinking about like starting
Yes.
getting our vinyls and listening to all our MJ vinyls start to finish because you just don't do that on Apple Music or Spotify or whatever now, and it's just so easy just to create a playlist or to hit forward. I'm good, how are you? Um yeah, so
Yeah, absolutely. That's the beauty of vinyl.
yeah. So it's been nice actually just to kind of listen to, and like I said, it's brought me back to my memories of back when things were simple before Bashir, before, you know, obviously the 93 allegations had happened, but they'd all settled down. Can't beat vinyl for sure. And, you know, it was just that time, it was just such a simple time. It was just like me, Michael, and my Walkman, and then my case full of CDs I would carry around everywhere. Um, I try. I know it's been. Yeah, I can't believe it. Phone Christ, 10 years, 10 years of like. And we were talking about
Mhm.
this the other day, actually, Kevin and I. Like 10 years of. I mean, how did it all begin? Like obviously the initial shock and the chaos, and then like the whole. You know, fans began having suspicions, and then the "This Is Not It" group formed, and then the bloody the Pearl Junior Brigade, the this is what was it? This is also it or something they called themselves. I don't know, but and then of
I'm
course it was like
surprised nobody called themselves "This Is Shit." I thought that would have been the obvious choice, but hey ho.
I'm not talking about it, but this is not it. I had my disagreements with them. Phone Crisis saying don't be talking about bad, but this is not it. Um, no, I had like my opinions at the start. I was kind of just worried that yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it was whenever the movie came out, when This Is It came out, I kind of wanted to see it for myself to kind of go, I want answers and I don't want to just hear it from fans. I want to see it all played out in court of law. Um, Now whether or not, I suppose it really kind of has happened with the AEG trial, but maybe just not to the
Yeah.
extent to which it should have.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, that was, and I suppose that kind of does bring us into our next topic. Unfortunately, with the day that's in it, just like it's it's one of these things. Like you know, you remember where you were when you when you heard the news, like,
For sure.
and like as you mentioned, I also heard that he, I think it was not long before it, obviously, he had cancelled some of the dates at the
Hmm.
O2, and I think I heard it on the radio when they said it's, oh, because he was feeling sick, or he was feeling ill or something.
Do you remember that skin cancer rumor?
No.
Yeah, it was like in around that time there was like a rumor started that Michael had skin cancer, and but it was a weird rumor because like the Sun, okay, the Sun newspaper started it, so that says everything. I believe it was the Sun or one of those English tabloids, but like they were really really adamant. I mean, like no matter how many times members of his inner circle or his family said no, he doesn't have skin cancer, they kept bringing it up. Okay, thank you, Shieldsy. Thank you. But yeah, they kept bringing up. Do you remember at Phone Christ? They started bringing up this rumor that he had skin cancer, and they were really, really adamant. They were going into all these details about how he was like going to chemo and he was getting, you know, doctor's appointments, and it was yeah, yeah. You remember that? It was just really fucking bizarre, and But it was just
Hmm.
like they would not bloody drop it. And I'm not saying that I believed it, but it was just very, very bizarre that this rumor was really, really persistent. I mean, usually, when reports happen against the start, usually dies down maybe and then picks up again. But this was just like constant. It was very, very strange. And then of course, yeah, the cancellation of the tours, and there was a no, no. It's just I can't even remember what their excuse was for canceling it, but I do remember looking back, even at the time when I was first buying the tickets, going like, he's not getting many days off. I mean, it was like what, freaking
It was
like one.
50, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Something
50. Yeah,
mad
50.
like that.
Yeah, but even like on a week to week basis, I mean, he was only getting like maybe as a 1 or 2 days a week off, which I know is like the average working man's kind of time off, I suppose. But it just seemed to be really, really intense, and I knew that he had his problems of sleeping, so I was worried. I was like, he's gonna be absolutely fucking exhausted, like doing a concert until 10:30 at night. He finishes. He doesn't get out of the O2 till what, probably 11, probably back home for 12. He's gonna be like way up here, really, really psyched. He's not gonna be able to sleep, and then he has to get up the
Mhm.
next day, go back and rehearse and do the whole thing over and over again. He's gonna be absolutely exhausted, and that's what I was really concerned about.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Even for like a healthy person, that 50 odd dates is absolute insanity. I
yeah,
think how many did Prince do? He didn't do that many, did he?
like
Like
20 or something like that,
20
or
or something.
25.
So, I mean, no, that was insanity. So, like, when I heard that's, yeah, on the radio, and I think the reason that I just heard was given is that it was illness or bad health or something.
Hmm.
And I just figured, well, okay, that is a ridiculous amount of dates to do. And I kind of didn't think much more of it. And
Yeah,
then obviously June 25th came along, and I had just finished watching fall movies. I just finished watching Hercules with someone I used to know, and their friend, they got a text message from their friend just saying, "Turn on Sky News, Michael Jackson had died," and it's one of
yeah,
those things you hear and you don't believe it. It's like, no, nah. And we switched over, and there it was. There was, I didn't hear any of him like being brought into hospital or in critical condition or this, that, or the other. We only heard like when it had been pronounced, like when he was pronounced dead.
yeah, yeah. Just to answer your question, phone, Chris. Kevin is on my laptop on YouTube live, so I'm just hopping on Twitter here just to basically, I suppose I usually go on Twitter live whenever we're live on YouTube just to get people to go over to YouTube. So um if you want to hop off here and go to the tweet on, it's pinned to the top of my profile. Um yeah, you can click the link there if you YouTube live's easier. I don't know why we use Twitter Live. It kind of doesn't always, it's not usually that busy, but sure. Cool. All right. So yeah, where was I?
We were
Uh,
talking about, so how
no,
did you
that's I'm
find
answering.
out?
I'm
Were you
answering my.
yeah.
Sorry. No,
Oh,
that's what I was
sorry.
saying.
So,
Where was I? I was about to start to say.
oh, of
um.
course. Oh, I thought, oh.
Yeah. It was a weird one that night because I've told it to fans before. Um, for some reason, I like decided. I don't know why. I just had this weird like notion, completely out of the blue, that I wanted to drive to this village. It's like a seaside village. It's about an hour's drive away from where I live. And it was really weird on a Thursday night for absolutely no reason. I just said I want to drive there. I don't know why. And it's weird. I remember the whole drive down. I drove past a circus and I drove like past a McDonald's, and it was a really, really lovely, kind of like tonight, quite a warm, sunny evening. And the whole way down, I was kind of having like an inner monologue. I felt like I was almost talking to Michael. It was really weird, like an inner monologue with Michael as if he was with me. It was very strange. And I stopped at the village. I kind of sat and looked around me for 5 minutes, and then I went and turned back. And on the way back, I stopped at a McDonald's. And to this day, I've never felt comfortable eating McDonald's.
Meow.
And yeah, I don't know why she's gurning. Go to bed. Oh, anyway, and as I got back, my parents they were out for dinner, and I like set my stuff down. I was driving home. I felt my cell phone, my beep beep, and I was like, okay, it's for my mom. I'll look at it in a while. And she'd been kind of texting me things like, "Oh, did you hear Michael Jackson's canceled stuff? Did you hear like this and that? Did you hear he was here? Did you hear he was there?" So I just saw like the kind of the little preview of my texts, and it said, "Did you hear my? Did you see Michael Jackson?" And I was like, "Okay, that's just what it is." And I got in, and it was about 11:26 or something like that. And I got in, set my stuff down in the kitchen work surface, looked at my phone and said, "Has died." And I was like, I just remember my heart just sank. I mean, it was just
Mm.
complete shock. I went, no, no, no. And of course, you just automatically go over to the TV, turn on Sky News, BBC News, whatever, and it's like nothing but Michael Jackson at this point. It said he's had a heart attack, he's reportedly died, and I think it was shortly after that then that did the live press conference. Yes, it has been 10 years. Yep, to KH. Yep, 877. Yep, it has been 10 years. Um,
Nelly doesn't like this.
no, Nelly, come on, buddy. Ugh. No, you're not going out. Ow, 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 ow. It has flown
Yeah.
in indeed. Sorry, pesky kitten. Stop it. Oh, goodness me.
Oh, hey, Funkreis just joined on the YouTube chats. He says,
Eh,
"I remember you speaking, you MJ Spirit."
That's right. I've had like such a journey in the last 10 years.
Mhm. That's yeah, and I suppose kind of to go on from that. That kind of it's kind of through. Well, it's not kind of. It is through Michael that we kind of ended up meeting and
Mm-hmm.
knowing each other. Well, it was actually through a mutual friend, but I think it was
Mm-hmm.
it would have been 2011. It was around that time. Hey, Fun Christ. He just says, "Hey, Kevin, I can see you
I was
now."
around the time of the Yeah, it was
Pardon?
around the time of the yeah, we met like kind of became friends on Facebook around the time of the Conrad Murray trial.
Yes, that's correct. And that would yeah, that'd been 2011, and I was kind of really just getting into Twitter at that point, and because it was like opening up, it was easier to interact and talk with people who were similarly minded and people who were fans. And Sky News had been dedicating a lot of time to the Conrad Murray trial. In fact,
Mm,
I think Charles Thompson may have appeared on Sky News once or twice talking about it.
I think he
But
did.
and I was just live tweeting throughout all of it. Like I was watching it religiously. Just turned out that I was unemployed at the time, so like I was able, and even if I hadn't have been, I would have been following the hashtags on Twitter anyway. But it was just interesting to follow it
Yeah.
live, the actual court footage, because that's something we weren't able to do during the 2005 trial. It was
Mhm.
only really until after the fact that stuff came out, transcripts and the
Yeah.
like. I mean, all we had to go with on Sky News back then was this ridiculous reenactment by E Entertainment, like E News or
Christ,
something
that
like
was
that,
yeah. We
which
were
was
watching that a few months ago. It was hilarious.
it was so
Fucking
bad.
ridiculous. Yeah.
It was so bad,
Oh
but it was all
man.
we had at the time,
Yeah.
really.
Oh, it was yeah, it was something else. You settled? Good girl.
And
Um
yes, so Conrad Murray trial, and that's like it was really around that time we kind of started talking with each other on Facebook. Well, our mutual friend had tagged us on a completely separate status. It was
yeah, and it
like
was
some joke or something.
yeah, and we added each other on Facebook, and then it was only we were kind of
Hmm.
joking about. I don't know, like, and then I don't know. I think it was sometime later. She was like, "Oh, I see you added Kevin. Yeah, he's a Michael fan as well." And I was like, "Oh, cool, okay." And then like we kind of chatted a bit more, and then I ended up just following you on Twitter. Because usually you start following your Facebook friends on Twitter, and
Yeah.
yeah, so we basically we met through Michael. Like I said in my Instagram
Indeed.
post earlier, so many like friends and that I've met through Michael, and I'm just so grateful. I wish he would know. And yes,
Hmm.
kind of met you through Michael, I suppose, because well, actually, no, I
By
didn't. No,
extension.
by extension, no, I met my
No,
other
not Nelly. No.
no, my other cat Belle. I met through Michael because yeah, it was through you that I got Belle.
Yeah,
If I hadn't met you, I
it's
wouldn't have got
crazy.
her.
It's crazy how things work out sometimes.
All right, exactly. But yeah. So 10 years.
That's 10 years, and I suppose like that's uh suppose we can't talk about the man without talking about his music. Because
No.
every so often we do have a retrospective. We have put on music videos and listened to particular songs. So I guess this is kind of just a bit of a free form conversation, and this is open to people on the chat as well. Like, what? So you're saying you listened to all the albums today from start to finish? Are we talking like from Ben
Well,
onwards, or are we just talking
no, no,
from
no.
off the wall?
Just from off the walls, the seven, the kind of the big seven, so to speak. Well,
Okay.
I tried to, but I was listening to Bad 25, so it has like obviously the live records attached to that, so it was kind of halfway through the live, and then I was like, actually, this is cut to dangerous. We need to get through them all in one day, but it didn't get that far, so I guess I can continue tomorrow.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, so I kind of like I listened to Bad as well, but it was only the I didn't listen to 25 or Thriller 25 or anything like that. I just listened to like the or like original versions of them.
Day
Like there
class.
was some remixes I'm not a huge fan of.
Not a fan of the remixes either, but the ones in the Bad 25 aren't too bad.
Mhm.
No pun
That's
intended.
that's there's a yeah, I do like the remix of Speed's Demon, the Nero, Brother Nero something remix. I actually quite
It's
fond
not
of
too
that
bad.
one.
Mm.
All right, from Christ, I gotta go now. Have a good one. I hope to join you. Thank you, from Christ. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate that, and I hope you have a good night too. And definitely we will
Okay,
chat with you later. Thank you very much.
see you later.
But yeah. Oof. Yeah, like bloody hell, 10 years flies by so quickly.
No.
You just it took me so long to come to terms with it because like it's just like no, he's the kind of first person you'd think would always be around.
Oh, absolutely. I know. It just felt surreal, didn't it?
It did, and like it legitimately took me a few years for it to fully sink in. Like I obviously accepted the fact, like was never like, oh no, he's definitely alive. I just trying to like actually come to terms with that he's dead. He's actually, he's not going to be coming out with any new material. He's not, I'm not never going to have the opportunity to see him perform live. Like I didn't even like in 2009 I didn't even get tickets for the O2 shows. Well, like I really couldn't just due to my personal circumstances at the time. It would made
Mm.
it figuratively impossible. But yeah, because I think the last time he was in Ireland would have been in 1997. I think he hit Dublin
Yeah.
in during the history tour, but
Mm.
I would have been 13 years old at that stage and like far
My
too young. Like I
parents
didn't
were
really
too young.
start going to concerts. Yeah, I didn't really start going to concerts till I was like well into my 20s. So it was really just
Mm.
I just missed out, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I've been lucky in a way though. Like I mean, I've seen Janet. I've met most of the Jacksons. I think the only ones I haven't met are Latoya, Joe, and I don't think I've met Marlon or Randy.
Uh,
I haven't met him either.
oh,
So I've done well. Met Michael's kids and everything. I haven't met the three T
Oh,
boys
yeah.
either,
Oh, did you hear?
unfortunately.
Yeah. Did you hear? There, Paris is going to be in the remake of Scream.
Yeah, so though I was looking up IMDb and it doesn't seem to have an IMDb page.
It was literally just announced today. It's going to be shown on VH1.
Oh.
They put up a trailer for it.
I saw
I
some of
kind
the
of
trailer.
sorry.
I saw some of the trailer.
Yeah, just going by that, I kind of get the feeling she's going to be like the Drew Barrymore type character at the start, maybe.
Maybe. I'm not yeah. I mean, there seems to be like a lot of kind of music stars in it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. It's good to see
It's
like
a
the kids, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I had no idea this was even happening, and
I didn't either.
I'm usually they must have kept it really really secret because I'm usually keep quite abreast on the upcoming horror movies.
Oh my goodness.
That I want also another announcement. August 13th, that Chasing the Truth rebuttal documentary is coming out on Amazon Prime and a couple of other major streaming networks.
Excellent. Which one is that?
That is the
Who's
one.
who's producing?
Oh, who's producing that again?
It's not
Drawing a blank.
Taj's, obviously.
No, 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 no. It was another big one. Oh, God,
Mm,
the name escapes me now. Hold on, let me check Twitter here. I retweeted it, so I'm on the spot here now.
okay.
Or did I retweet it? I thought I did. Ah, sugar, I didn't. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
No worries.
I guarantee you heard of it.
Oh, I have. I'm trying to remember because there's been so many come out recently, which
I
is a good thing, of course.
I guarantee you heard of it.
Excellent.
But I suppose, yeah, just going back to our wee retrospective. Yeah, what videos? What would be your outside of the usual, like, obviously, you've got your standards, you've got your thriller and all that. I mean
My favorite
that was
video.
just, yeah,
Favorite video would probably be Smooth Criminal. Or
interesting.
yeah, or
Even with
Given
the weird, even with the weird farty bit in the middle,
yeah, weird farty bed mill. I'm not keen on, but I'm not
it
talking about
just
the full.
kills it dead.
It's the one part I don't like about it, but apart from that, the choreography, everything is just so fucking slick and
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Um,
No good song has ever had farts in it.
you gotta rise.
Wrong video.
Well, kind of a good song but a good fart.
You're saying other one, sorry, Give In to Me?
Yes, I love Given to Me, and I mean, I love it's great C slash, and it's like a little bit of a heavy metal. I think I probably more like that song because I mean, Michael looks great on it, and he sounds great and everything, but
Yeah.
the cinematography is beautiful. But I also just love it, I think, because it's a little bit different, and of course, not forgetting they
hmm
don't care about us, the prison version.
Yeah, I think the Brazilian version is like the Brazilian version is good as well, but I think because again the prison version to me falls under censored materials, I'm
Yeah.
like, no,
Oh,
I
yeah.
much prefer the prison version.
Yeah, and Stranger in Moscow as well, actually. It's a beautifully shot video.
Yes,
Absolutely stunning.
I would agree on that. Like I similar to you, I like the videos that are kind of different. I mean, obviously you mentioned Stranger in Moscow. The I talked earlier on about Leave Me Alone. I really like that, and also Liberian Girl, I think, is overlooked.
It is, yeah. I mean, obviously Michael's not there, and it's the song's also,
Exactly.
which,
and
yeah, it is.
and and it's like it's not it's not he's not there as in, oh, he's having contract disputes with Sony so he doesn't show up. It's like he's not there by design.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's watching from behind the camera.
Yeah, this is
Right.
just like, yeah, look at all my famous friends.
Well, it's just like the ultimate kind of lineup of 80s stars, isn't it? It's quite beautiful, really.
Yeah, yeah, it's really cool. I think that kind of gets overlooked. Yeah, like as I said, obviously, like there's Thriller is bad, and there's Beat It, like all of them. They're just fucking, they're even by today's standards, they're like far and above like any
Mhm.
other music video. I mean, it's for me, it's like you can have great music videos here, but like Thriller will always be at the absolute tippity top. I don't think like it would
Of
take something
course.
extremely special to touch that, but like that hasn't happened in what, 30 odd years now, and I don't think it ever will.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think this is more because we don't get to see all those ones that we've listed. I mean, almost like we get oversaturated with Thriller, Billie Jean and Beat It. So it
Yeah.
is good, and like you said earlier, the prison one, it is controversial. It's one that is generally not played on the mainstream air, apart aside from
Yes.
since a certain documentary aired. It
Mm,
never really was. It was always seen as the controversial. "Oh, no, we can't show that one." Something that's probably why I like it, because it's kind of that rare find. Pardon me. So yeah, those would be my favorite videos. They're all absolutely incredible.
yeah. Yeah. The only like real, well, one I've kind of mixed feelings about. Um, Obviously, yeah, as I mentioned, Cry, good song, but terrible, terrible video.
It's not. Yeah, I think at that point it was just when Michael had enough of Sony. He was just trying to get out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that and You Rock My World.
you're not keen on that.
I've mixed feelings about it. Sometimes I like it, and sometimes I think, well, this is probably his least original one because it's just a remake of Smooth Criminal
With Chris Tucker instead of like cute
with
kids.
Chris Tucker. Yeah, I'm sorry, like Chris Tucker is like the only like I come out of that song think instead of thinking that's a good song, which it is, I just
Yeah.
come out of it thinking Chris Tucker is incredibly annoying.
Give me Eddie Murphy any day.
Yeah, yes, Michael.
Oh my god. So,
So Chase the Truth, it's from Entertain Me, but Matt Fides, Fiddy,
oh yes, it's that
Fids.
one.
Yeah, it's gonna be on iTunes, Amazon Prime, Google Play, Xbox Store, and more on August 13th.
Fucking brilliant. That's great news.
Yeah,
So that is that the one
that is
that
very good news.
yeah, is that the one that Mark Lester's in as well?
He could be.
Yes, he was in
There's a trailer for it.
I
I
think I've
can't
seen it.
remember
Yeah, I know the
if he's
one
in it or
that's
not.
yeah. I know the one you're referring to now. I have seen the trailer for it, but they'll be interesting to see. I mean, I have mixed feelings about Matt Fides. Obviously, for many years, fans called him the umbrella holder because he was, kind of claiming he was BT's father or some nonsense like that. So that was the other thing in the aftermath of Michael's passing 10 years ago. Began the whole nonsense about like all these endless paternity claims.
Oh, for goodness sake, yeah.
Do you remember it was like all over the news every day, and all this like footage suddenly leaked of like Michael's kids, and it's just like, oh Jesus. As good as it was
There's
to,
yeah.
for the world to see that for once and for all that he was a good father and the kids had a good life. Um, yeah, that's complete nonsense about sperm donation and oh shit, it's like that was the beginning of the first wave of shit that we had to put up with. That and of course the questions as to Michael's health and how he was treated by AEG.
Mm, yeah, well, there's yeah, there's definite doubts over that particular aspect. All right.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, he had a lot of negative influences around him, like without going into specifics, because again, this is kind of remembering the positive things. But remember the time? That was another great video.
It was.
Yeah, it's my opinion, and I'm just going to say it's just my opinion that Michael wasn't always the best judge of character. He perhaps maybe didn't surround himself with people that had his best interests at heart. I think maybe sometimes surrounded himself with the worst possible people, but that's
Oh,
just my opinion.
I think any fan or even any non-fan would agree with you on that.
Yeah, and I'll say like I'll say, all I can say is like God bless Tom Ezra. Like,
Oh god, yeah. I mean, he is just like of the few people I've met in my life that I've been starstruck by was Tom Mesro. I was like, I met Michael's
I'd
kid.
love to meet that guy.
Yeah, like I was completely like, oh my god, Tom Mesro. It was yeah, it was quite the occasion.
Yeah, I mean he's I'm currently like reading the Aphrodite Jones book, the
Hmm.
Michael Jackson conspiracy, and just just reading some of the descriptions, and like I think it's written based off of the court transcripts, and just like some of the like verbal jewels that Mesro would get into with the prosecuting with the prosecution is just absolutely priceless. I mean, he could probably like he seems like a kind old man that you could sit down and have a beer with, but like make no mistake, he could probably fucking bottle you.
Yeah. Oh no.
Metaphorically speaking, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. He
Like he's the man I would want in my corner.
oh, big time. He's a real true genuine guy, and I'll say I don't know why, but
Mm.
my tablet is charging at the minute, but still the battery's going down.
Okay, could
Yeah.
be just a high intensity app because like you're recording, you're streaming, so okay. That's all right. We're nearing the 1 hour mark anyway, so if you just want to give me the Iggy and we can wrap it up.
Once yeah, sure.
What percentage is it at now?
It's at 1%.
You serious?
Yeah.
Okay, well then we better wrap it up then here now. I think we pretty much covered everything we wanted to cover.
Exactly. But
All right.
yeah, in closing, just want to say thank you everybody for listening, and thank you everybody for the journey the last 10 years and for the next
Yes,
10
keep
years.
fighting the good fight.
Yeah, we're going to fight the good fight now and forever, and here's to the next 10 years. Hopefully it'll be a little bit
Yeah.
easier for us all. And
Yeah, and
remembering Michael.
we will probably do more live streams in the future as they are needed. Like we will no doubt be watching that Chasing the Truth and probably give our thoughts on that. But yeah, before Rachel's battery runs out, we will say goodnight and thanks to all who watched.
Thanks everybody. Good night.
Bye bye.